So I made a previous video about Sigumir, which is the peptide bioregulator for the joints and connective tissue. This is Biolongevity Labs version they make here in the States. Biocartilage is just Sigumir, and if you get Sigumir from an Eastern European source, it will also have this A4 identifier here, but they'll use the name Sigumir instead. So again, this is for the joints and connective tissue, and I already made a video about it, so if you want to know more about it, go ahead and check the link in the description. It definitely helped my dog Sadie a lot with her degenerative issues, primarily in this case osteoarthritis. But when I gave it to her, I also gave her Gotratik, which is the bioregulator for the muscles. In this case, again, this is Biolongevity Labs one here in the US, and BioMuscle is just Gotratik. But again, if you get it from Eastern Europe, you'll see the same identifier, A18, after the name Gotratik. So we use Sigumir to support the joints and connective tissue, and we use Gotratik to combat the muscle weakness and atrophy that went with those conditions. Because when you have joint issues, you'll typically have muscle issues. You'll have disuse, you'll have compensation, you'll have changes to normal biomechanics, and that will lead to muscle weakness and muscle wasting. So by using Sigumir and Gotratik together, we were trying to support both of these systems and alleviate some of the chronic symptoms from osteoarthritis, or really any other degenerative disease that affects the joints and muscles. If you're watching this video and your dog was recently diagnosed with a degenerative condition like osteoarthritis, this probably isn't where I would start. This is just where we ended up. So there's a lot of other options that are better researched in dogs. Things like high dose fish oil, like a pretty high dose. You can talk to your vet about what that dose would be specifically for your dog, but most of the research is on quite high doses, providing relief and benefiting dogs with osteoarthritis. You could also use things like collagen. You could also use undenatured type 2 collagen, which is different than normal collagen. And they both work differently, so often they'll use them together. There's also myose, which is fortitropin, hydroxymethylbutyrate, turmeric, antanol, hormone replacement like testosterone replacement therapy, Chinese herbs, Ayurvedic or Western herbs, and Adequan as well. I'm going to make a video soon, maybe hopefully in the next week or so, talking about some of these other available options and going into a lot more detail. But if you ended up where we ended up, which is that you've already tried all those things, and either they didn't work, or in our case, most of them did work, but as we slowly added them on with time, we no longer started seeing the same benefits, and they just became a part of what kept her at her current baseline. And of course, over the years, that baseline will continue to trend negative. And so you have to add in new things that can provide new relief. And so that's when you start exploring these roads less traveled. I'm not a vet, and I don't know your dog, so please discuss this with your veterinarian before you try anything new. I'm not aware of any drug interactions with these supplements, with any other medications, but these are important factors to discuss and consider. So if you want to talk to your vet about it, they may not know anything about it, but you can ask them if they do, or if they think it's worth trying, or maybe just that you would like to try it, and do they have any concerns about that? I don't have any personal or professional affiliation with any bioregular company, nor do I receive any financial compensation or kickbacks of any kind. My goal is just to provide information that may be useful to you, especially information that isn't freely available on the internet already. If you get Gotratik or Sigumir from an Eastern European source, it'll probably come in a box like this. This is sirlotin, which is the bioregulator for the central nervous system. But if you get Gotratik or Sigumir from an Eastern European source, this is the type of box that it would come in. And it would come with either 1 or 3 sheets of this, meaning 20 or 60 pills. And it would have Sigumir Gotratik printed on it in English letters and Cyrillic letters. I think Nature's Marvels is another brand. I haven't tried that one. I believe that's an Eastern European source that is just designed for the Western market. It probably works. I just haven't tried it. I know firsthand that managing your dog's injuries and degenerative conditions can be very challenging, physically, emotionally, and financially. I wish you all the best.